I'm on a quest to get every single Final Fantasy XIV trophy. This is going to take thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours to do, and I don't have time for that. So I have given myself 2 years, or 730 days. There's no time like the present, so let's get on with it. Alright, time to start Heavensward, day 7, and I forgot to rest in a sanctuary, so I'm missing out on 36 hours of rested experience. Whoops. I explored the glorious city of Foundation. It's a pretty slow start to Heavensward though, but I'm happy to get some real experience gains for once. Looking at all these experience gains though, I did get a bit too excited and I forgot that I need to do the White Mage questline, so I made a start on that. No, I am not going to explain the plot of the White Mage questline. It's terrible. Don't worry about it. The plot might be terrible, but the mechanics are actually okay. It's nice to open with an instance with a focus on healing instead of, you know, just how much damage can you do to this mob in a short space of time. And as a result, I unlocked the healing gauge and suddenly White Mage becomes a lot less dull. After lots of walking around, I head to the clouds and kill the natives and rescue a noble. That's historically accurate, isn't it? But don't worry about that, I got the Art of War 2 for hitting level 60. I play hide and seek with the heretics from the previous video, and then proceed to make a mockery of the Ishgardian justice system. Man, imagine being a paladin and losing to a white mage. That's just embarrassing. There's a brief detour from the chilly north as I go on a rescue mission in a dungeon that I obviously do not recognize in the slightest. No siree. And then go back to the heretics who have somehow figured out how to transform into Godzilla. A very killable Godzilla, but Godzilla all the same. And then I get lost for a while. I do mean a good half an hour because I'm an idiot. As a side note, I do pick up ether currents here and there for the sake of it, but I won't be flying anytime soon because I'm not doing the side quests, so it's not priority numero uno. But eventually, 40 odd quests later, it's time to actually do a multiplayer duty. It's time to take on Ravana in Thok As Thok. For some reason, his theme tune is the Great Mighty Pooh from Conker's Bad Fur Day. Nope, me neither. Having said that, how cool does he look? And also, how busted is Asylum as a spell? All I had to do was heal and make sure I stayed behind Ravana pretty much all the time, and chip in damage-wise both on the boss and the ads. Shout out to the healer on this one, I really think we both nailed this one. Well, you wait forever for a duty and then two come along at once. It's time to do Som Al. The first boss is an Ochu because, of course it is. The party seemed to make a decision to Zerg rush the boss whilst I chose to deal with the ads. Not sure who's right on that one, I probably should have gone with the DPS. Then after dealing with a Black Eyes Red Dragon and a White Eyes Blue Dragon, it's time for another dragon. Featuring special guest Flubber from Copperbell Mines, you remember him. Again, slight disconnect as to where the damage should have gone. There was a decision, unspoken decision I guess, to Zerg rush the boss instead of Flubber, and I'm sure whilst it was quicker, I would have liked to have done the mechanics, but whatever man, I guess mechanics really are for cars. I will come up with a different joke in this series, I promise. Finally, Tiamat. Sorry, Tioman, what the hell? And Tiamat is kinda cool. There's lasers, coconuts, AoEs, and a whole lot of ass kicking. Oh, and I got a metric truck ton of brand spanking new equipment too. The White Mage Heavensward questline comes to an end by taking on Dragon Zombie. Why are there so many Yu-Gi-Oh references in this expansion? And with that, day 7 comes to a close. Day 8, and it's time for another game of hide and seek, this time with Moogles. But except I've hidden the footage because I forgot to record. But I then had to do their chores as well, which I did record. Good job me. I proceed to go on a dragon quest by killing a bunch of them while exploring, and then it's time for the Airy where I get to kill even more dragons. First up is this Thunder Dragon. Do not put the Thunder Dragon card in, god damn it. With its AoEs and Thunder Tethers that I know all about so I don't get one hit KO'd. Then it's time to take down Gyarados. All I have to do is avoid his explosive farts and I'm pretty much good to go. Finally, Nidhogg, with all his massively multiplayer AoEs. I make sure to pay the Sable price by killing the Sable price, and then Holy and Assize nuke the ads to death, and then we finish Nidhogg once and for all. I'm definitely never gonna see him again. For sure. Absolutely. I continue to make a mockery of the Ishgardian justice system, and then I get really tired, and that's the end of day 8. Call me Sean Plot, because it's time for day 9, and the Vault. Our first opponent is this dude with his holy balls. He's pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie. Next up is this X-Death fanboy. Why do I say that? Well, he keeps summoning the void. As long as I stay away from the purple clouds, I should be good to go. Finally, it's a chess match against this fella. Everything is also constantly on fire for some reason, and the whole party definitely runs around like everything is on fire. It's also the first instance of the Infernal Chains mechanic. Infernal Chains, Burning Chains, I don't know how you say it, but you know what I mean. It's a good job I know what to do, because otherwise I would have been too dead to be useful. Oh look, the Empire's back to get its ass handed to it. Hey, remember when we slew all those natives earlier in the video? Well, they've summoned their god. Whoops. Bismarck throws a temper tantrum as native beastmen try to exact their revenge. So we punish Bismarck for his insolence by throwing harpoons and beating him up. Bismarck is slightly upset with this, and understandably so, so he sends 2 dragons that are a bit more annoying. Luckily, they are easily pacified by keeping them apart, parent trap style. Bismarck's been a naughty boy, so we harpoon him again and finish him off. Side note, waiting forever for a multiplayer duty and then all of them coming at once is not good pacing, I'm just saying. I take a side in the Goblin Civil War, and then it's time for the Great Goble Library. Sorry, Goble Library. Oh look, it's Final Fantasy V, The Dungeon. After a lot of light passages, and I do mean a lot of light passages, the first boss of the library is a book. Wow, what a shock. All I needed to do was dodge AoEs, not get one-shot by a super telegraphed one-hit KO, and learn how to ice skate, which I can't do in real life. After a close call during the next pull because I can't heal around corners, it's the second boss, which is also a book. Unfortunately, I can't summon Ifrit for this one, just avoid the boss's farts and drag some balls across his face. Yeah, it's really that simple. The next set of pulls goes a lot better, and then it's finally time for the final boss, which is a book on legs. Which is arguably the easiest fight of the dungeon, as long as we can all count to 3. I say this as if on one occasion we didn't fail to count to 2, but the boss goes down anyway. After some more prattling around, it's time for a 1v1 against whoever the hell this is. I don't know, I've been skipping cutscenes. Pretty sure regular is a salad though. Also, not a 1v1, and it really should be. It would make a much bigger impact gameplay wise. Then, after flying around on Midgardsormr, it's time to enter the Etherochemical Research Facility. Try saying that 5 times fast. The first boss is that same salad person who we just did the fake 1v1 with. Why is he here? Then it's a Chimera thing, but instead of 4 things at once, it's got 4 forms, including this form, which for some reason has a hate boner for healers. After going through a part of the level that honestly just looks like that futuristic level from The Last Remnant, if you know, you know, it's time for the 2-phase Asian boss fight. After dealing with their icy hot balls on the first phase, the second phase is very similar, but with more icy hot balls and glowing floors. For some reason. It's a good thing that I had turned my brain on because I was healing like a champ and pretty much dodging the vast majority of the mechanics, but I couldn't pat myself on the back too hard because it's time for the Singularity Reactor, aka Final Fantasy VII's Knights of Round. But also, plot point, why would you turn yourself into a primal against a known primal slayer? Like, what? As a visual spectacle and a light show, it's genuinely spectacular. But honestly, as a final boss of the expansion, this one's too easy. In fact, laughably so. I'd argue that the Ascian Prime was way harder, and I'll die on that hill. Anyway, the king is dead. Long live the king. I get the Heavensward trophy for completing the Heavensward expansion, and nothing bad happens afterwards. Right? Well, that, my friends, is a story for another day.